avoid giving the Allende government a basis on which to rally domestic and international support for consolidation of the regime, but that, too, the United States will seek to maximize pressures on the Allende government to prevent its consolidation and limit its ability to implement policies contrary to U.S. and hemisphere interests.
Specifically, the President has directed that within the context of a publicly cool and correct posture toward Chile,
vigorous efforts be undertaken to assure that governments in Latin America understand fully that the U.S. opposes consolidation of a communist state in Chile to hostile to the interests of the United States and other hemisphere nations, and to the extent possible encourage them to adopt a similar posture.
Close consolidation be established with key governments in Latin America, particularly Brazil and Argentina, to coordinate effects to oppose Chilean moves which may be contrary to our mutual interests. In pursuit of this objective, efforts should be increased to establish and maintain close relations with friendly military leaders of the hemisphere.
Necessary actions be taken to
A. Exclude, to the extent possible, further financing assistance or guarantees for U.S. private investment in Chile, including those related to the Investment Guarantee Program or the operations of the Export-Import Bank.
B. Determine the extent to which existing guarantees and financing arrangements can be terminated or reduced.
C. Bring maximum feasible influence to bear in international financial institutions to limit credit or other financing assistance to Chile. In this connection, efforts should be made to coordinate with and gain maximum support for the policy from other friendly nations, particularly those in Latin America, with the objective of lessening unilateral U.S. exposure.
And D. Assure that U.S. private business interests having investments or operations in Chile are made aware of the concern with which the U.S. government views the government of Chile and the restrictive nature of the policies which the U.S. government intends to follow.
No new bilateral economic aid commitments be undertaken with the government of Chile. Programs of humanitarian or private social agency character will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Existing commitments will be fulfilled by ways in which, if the U.S. desires to do so, they could be reduced, delayed, or terminated, should be examined.
The President has directed that the Director of the Office of Emergency Preparedness prepare a study which sets forth the implications of possible developments in world copper markets, stockpile disposal actions, and other factors as they may affect the marketing of Chilean copper and our relationships with Chile.
The President also has directed that the Senior Review Group meet monthly or more frequently as necessary to prepare options for specific courses of action and related action plans for the consideration of the Senior Review Group and to coordinate implementation of approved courses of action. Henry Kissinger. Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
The beginning of the Ghost Tango will start Tuesday.
Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
Tuesday, September 11th, 1973.
New York City, the United States of America.
Santiago, Chile.
Two Boeing 767s crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center.
Two Hawker Hunter fighters fired 18 rockets into La Moneda, the presidential palace.
Nearly 3,000 people were murdered in the attacks.
Only 2 people died in the assault on the presidential palace. And 3 months after the coup, 1,500 human beings were killed or simply disappeared.
3 Chilean citizens were killed in the attack.
2 American citizens were killed in the months following the coup.
The attacks of September 11th were intended to break our spirit. Instead, we have emerged stronger and more unified. We feel a renewed devotion to the principle of political, economic, and religious freedom, the role of law, and respect for human life. We are more determined than ever to live our lives in freedom. Rudy Giuliani.
Everything we had wanted, everything we had created was coming crashing down. It was a sense of burial, of death, not only the death of the president, but part of us that died, Arturo.
When I look out the window, I exhale a prayer of thanks for the color green, for my children's safety, for the simple acts of faith, like planting a garden that helps see us through another spring, another summer. And I inhale some kind of promise to protect my kids' hopes and good intentions we began with in this country. Freedom freedom of speech, the protection of diversity. These are the most important ingredients of American civil life and my own survival. If I ever took them for granted, I don't know. Barbara Kingsolver.
None of us who were there, those of us who were lucky enough to survive, could feel the same. It was impossible to feel the same. We were losing our grasp on democracy, something we tried hard to take care of, and we knew it would be very difficult to get back once lost. So those of us who were there, life would simply never be the same again.
Tuesday,
Automoda.
September 11th.
Tuesday, September 11th.
2 Boeing 767s crashed into the Twin
2 Hawker
Towers.
Hunter fighters.
Only 2 people died in the assault.
Nearly 3,000 people were murdered in the attacks.
None of us who were there.
When I look out the window, I exhale a prayer of thanks for the color green.
Everything we had wanted.
Santiago, Chile.
We were losing our grasp of democracy.
3 Chilean citizens were killed in the attack.
Tuesday, September 11th.
Tuesday, September 11th,
2001.
1973.
Yeah. Other than that, I think it would be great.
Yeah, cool. I think you guys can go through like most of a 2-2-2 once you come together. Because like you come together